Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Rox Burkey. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hello and welcome to Indie Beacon Radio. I'm here this evening to have a wonderful conversation with Deborah Olson. Deborah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for asking me, Rox. It's great to be here.
I mean, this is so exciting. You are an author, a speaker, a coach, award-winning. I mean, you have it all. What a delight to have you with me.
Thank you.
We're going to talk first about your book because, you know, this is kind of the author thing going on. And your book is The Healing Power of Girlfriends. Now, you know, I remember having girlfriends in school and then girlfriends in suburbia. Tell me what this is about.
So The Healing Power of Girlfriends is really about female friendship. And it comes out of an idea that I had. My background, of course, is healthcare. I'm an RN, registered nurse, worked in women's area, OBGYN, all of that for many years, then became a therapist, and now I specialize in women's emotional health and treat clients with all kinds of issues. So the book came out of that and also came out of my own desire to share some of my journey in friendships over the years, things I've learned about being in friendships. And then I also did a lot of research, both my original research that I instigated on my own, as well as looking at the research that's out there. And I took all of that and put that in the book to really ground it in solid facts and statistics. But the book is kind of a little, if you want to call it a guide or a little Bible to female friendship. And we talk in there about toxic friends, what to do with them, how to make new friends at any age, and just all kinds of wonderful little tidbits about the gift of female friendship.
Okay, well, the gift or the challenge, I guess, depending on what side of that friend line you're on. So I know one of the things I heard was, you know, there are the, let's say, the girlfriend vampires, which I thought was a fascinating term because I think we have all experienced girls that would rather step over you than be your friend.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So there are vampires out there, and I put them in a very toxic category. And so we've all encountered them either through high school or college or in our young adulthood or middle adulthood. We know what it's like to be in a friendship with somebody that's not truly our friend. And it sucks the very life out of you, just like a vampire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I often wonder whether those types of, as you say, toxic category people, are they ever happy? Can they make friends, or are they like lost souls that kind of wander around?
There's all kinds of people out there with all kinds of agendas or all kinds of their own issues, and they're complicated. And sometimes they bring those to the friendship table, and then their issues become your issues, and suddenly you're pulled into this wonderful quagmire of whatever they're dealing with. So it's really, I get asked this question a lot. How do I spot a toxic friendship? How will I know? And I tell people, trust your gut. You know when something doesn't feel right. And if that is not a person that has your back, if that is not a person that rejoices when something good happens to you, if that is a person who's jealous, backstabber, two-faced, all those things, we know what those people do, and it doesn't feel good. And so those are toxic friendships, and we need to let them go.
Good point. And I know with your healthcare background and really with the title of the book, we're talking about the healing power of girlfriends. So that kind of tells me, and please correct me if I'm thinking about this incorrectly, but does that mean that you know, really at any age, you should really seek out valuable friendships that are girlfriends?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you a personal story about that. So a few years ago, we moved from one corner of Houston to hour away, another part of Houston. Houston is sprawling, as we all know. So it's takes a while to get from one corner to the next. I am now an hour away where I had to make new friends in my area because all my other girlfriends that I had friendships with for 2 decades are on the other side of town. I see them still occasionally, but it's different, as we all know, when you move. So I was here in this area. I'm down by Galveston Bay now in the Kemah area. And
Nice.
after being here, I just decided I need to reach out. I'm busy working and I have family in the state, so there's always something going on. But I realized that I didn't have good girlfriend connections here. So what happened is, and I tell this story in my book, a lady that is in the area reached out on the Nextdoor app and she said, I'm looking to make a new circle of girlfriends. Anybody out there want to also jump in with me and have a little circle of social time with girlfriends? Go to dinner, have a glass of wine, be supportive of each other. Well, that lady within 20 minutes had over 200 women.
Wow.
200 women in 20 minutes. I'm in. I was one of those people. I think I was in the first 5 or so. I just happened to see the email come across and I responded. We are now 3 years into that group of solid female friends. We formed a group and we are amazingly close in just 3 years. We really help each other when somebody has a need. We jump in to help. And we also meet up for social gatherings. We share dinner, glass of wine, and we just have the best time. And I am in my early 60s. So for me to start a new friendship at that point in my life, that's kind of a big deal. And people say, I'm too old to start over. I don't know how to connect with people. I don't know how to reach out. Well, my advice is go for it. If you have something presented in front of you like that, it's a gift. Seize the day, seize the moment, and go for it. What have you got to lose? And so I really am glad that I did reach out that day because now I have this wonderful circle of new girlfriends and we have so much fun together.
Oh no, that's awesome. I mean, that's a great story. So in your profession and you found that there was a gap, what was the actual, I don't know, pivot point where you said, this book needs to be written? What made that happen?
I get asked that question a lot, and there were a couple of really major life things that happened that really sparked it. The first one was my husband and I were in Mexico on the beach with another couple that are lifelong friends of ours. And we were sitting on the beach. And this is a girlfriend that I had for many years in Milwaukee when we lived there. And I moved to Texas. And so over the years, we've had to stay connected long distance through snail mail, email, and all of that. And so we've kept this friendship alive through decades. And we're sitting on the beach chatting away and our husbands are talking. And finally, her husband looks at us and says, you girls, you ladies, have something that is really special and unique. You're able to connect again and jump right back in where you left off the last time, even though a couple years go by and you don't see each other. And you've been doing this for decades now. What is the secret that you have? And we looked at each other, and her name is Kathy. And I said, well, not keeping that friendship, even though I lived in Texas and she lived in Milwaukee, that was never an option. We made a commitment when I moved away and said, this is a golden friendship. They don't come around very often. We're going to stay in touch with each other. We were busy moms raising kids at that time, but here we are decades later. We're still very close. Her birthday is today, actually, so I have been in touch with her today. And it's just a very special friendship. And her husband said, he looked at me and said, you need to write a book about that. You need to write a book about how to hold a friendship across decades, across state lines, across life's trials, and keep that connection. That's a formula, that's a secret. And there's people out there that are going to want to know how to do that. So that was the first thing. Couple months later, I did a women's retreat on the weekend in Galveston, which I do a lot of those women's seminars. And I had ladies that came together for that weekend. And it was about, I called it the healing power of girlfriends. That was what I called the seminar that weekend. And here we are, all of us doing all these breakout sessions. And I'm doing some addresses to them and talking about the gifts of female friendship. And they came to me at the end of the weekend and they were very serious. And they just said, we want you to know that this was life-changing for us. We were really impacted by the messages that you shared about female friendship, and the personal stories and the struggles and all that you shared with us was powerful. And we want you to think about putting that in a book. So I went home from that seminar and I said, gosh, that's twice now, and I need to write a book. So I went home and started writing my outline.
Oh, that's perfect. And I'm sorry, but with that, I need you to stick around. We need to listen to a message from our sponsor, and we'll be right back, Deborah. I'm Rox Burkey.
And I'm Charles Brakefield. We're award-winning co-authors, Brakefield and Burkey, of the Enigma book series. There are 10 books in these series, with book number 11 planned for release in January 2020.
Each story has a central technology focus ranging from identity theft to cryptocurrency, and now AI wars. These adult techno thrillers pit cyber good guys against cyber thugs across the darknet.
In our world, technology is today's weapon of choice. You can enjoy ebook format, paper, or Audible. We want your feedback.
Until the next story, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Randy James, independent voiceover producer in the Dallas, Texas area, available to write and record a 30-second commercial, much like the one you're hearing right now. It's a great way to help increase awareness and exposure to your book title. It's easy to do. Simply call me and we'll brainstorm on a few ideas, and in a few hours, I'll whip something up and send you a digital file ready to use. Remember, call or text me, Randy James, at 214-762-1942.
Welcome to IndieLector.store, an online bookstore where the discriminating reader can find award-winning books. IndieLector.store is not a big corporation, so we can give up to 80% of the sales directly to the author. Help us support them by buying a great book at IndieLector.store.
Hello, I am the author and poet Denise Bryson. I am the author of The Things That Cross My Mind, Love's Reality, both in book and audio form. I am also noted as one of the best poets of 2011. I have 2 new projects coming up. One is the Blinky series, where Blinky tells us all about our coins and our bills for our children. I also have a book coming out called Say Ye. It's quotes from Denise Bryson, just inspirational and that will help you along the way.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon. I am here with my new friend, Deborah Olson, and I'm so delighted to continue our conversation. And she writes a wonderful book that we need to talk about. But I really liked the story of the 2 items that really made this book a reality. So how long did it take you to put this book together?
About 3 years. I wrote my outline in 2016, and then I started actually writing some of the actual chapters at that point, and then continued writing in 17 and had it ready for an editor to start working on summer of 17. About the time Hurricane Harvey hit, my book was going through its first major edit. So yes, so, and then through the next year, more edits, and finally it came out March of 19.
I mean, that's really exciting. So you're a professional, you talk to women, you have a wonderful platform, but you also have a potential for a lot of really good beta readers. So have you used your circle of friends to, when you were editing the book, to provide some comments before you publish it?
I did have a couple of girlfriends that I contacted and sent them a chapter or 2 to kind of eyeball and give me their thoughts on it. And they provided some really great feedback back to me. So yes, I did do some of that, definitely. And I worked with 2 different editors. The first one was my first editor for the first probably 3 months, and the first big edits that came in. And she had to hop off the project due to some medical things. So she suggested I work with her friend, who then was my primary editor for this. Her name is Candice Johnson, and she's out in Portland. I've never officially met her, but she has a wealth of knowledge, a lot of years and years of experience as an editor, and she's the best. She's tough, but I wanted somebody tough because I wanted a good product in the end.
There you go. It's a very interesting cover on your book. So did you have some special graphics help you design that?
So the book cover is not an accident at all. I'm a Pisces and I love the ocean. That is my happy place. And I also wanted to acknowledge where the book kind of got its birth, which was the beach in Playa del Carmen with our friends that day when we started talking, as well as Galveston being on the ocean. And so I really wanted to incorporate the beach into the cover. And actually, I worked with Jera Publishing to publish my book, and they did an awesome job. They assigned a young man to my book and said, he will help you with any concepts or designs that you're thinking about, or if you need him to help you find some graphics. And he had a lot of great graphics that he shared with me, and we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Couldn't find the thing that I was really looking for. And then one day, out of the blue, here at our house, my husband and I were going through a bunch of wonderful graphics online and just found this one. And we both at the same time just almost gasped and said, "That's it. That's it right there, stop." So I sent that to Jason, the young man at Jera Publishing in Atlanta. And I said, "Jason, this is it." And we tweaked it just a little bit. We changed one of the hats and made it from blue to yellow. And I showed a bunch of girlfriends. I had lots of friends that I showed this cover to and said, "What do you think?" And everybody was like, "Thumbs up, that's it. You can't improve." So that was it.
See, that's one of those stories that you just think are made up stories, but you know, they really happen. So this is exciting. And you say it's kind of like a Bible, kind of like a, you know, something that you use as a reference kind of material. Is there also a workbook included with this, so you can kind of maybe make notes and say, "Oh, I need to do this better," or "I need to mark down that this really is not the kind of friend I want," or "This is the kind of friend I want"?
So I haven't done a workbook yet, although I am in negotiations about creating one. My editor, Candice, and a couple other people that I talk with professionally, they all think that it's time for a workbook to go with this. And I think that'd be a great tool, a great adjunct tool. What I do have, and this, I'm so glad you asked that question, because what I do have at the end of each chapter are discussion questions. And these are really thought-provoking. I put a lot of time and effort into the discussion questions, and people that have actually gone through the book and answered the discussion questions have gotten back to me and said, "You made us," like in a book club, for instance, lots and lots of book clubs have been using my book, and they'll actually email me and say, "Your questions are thought-provoking, and it made our group go inside. We had to dig deep. We had to really go deep to get in touch with what that question was addressing." And so I did that on purpose. I took a lot of time with those questions. I think almost as much time as I took writing the book, because I really wanted those to penetrate and to have people really have to sit and ponder it. It's not just a quick answer. Some of the questions really make you go back into previous friendships, prior hurts, all kinds of things. And so it makes this book really appropriate for different women's groups and book clubs.
You know, book clubs is certainly an area that makes perfect sense to me. What kinds of clubs are you getting some traction in with this, like MOPS groups, or you know,
Yeah.
Is there an area that you find is the most valuable for you?
MOPS is one group that has been using my book, and actually I'm a certified MOPS speaker. We had to go through a certification process last year. They changed things up a little bit, and you had to apply. Even though I've been speaking to MOPS groups for a couple decades, I had to kind of go through the formal process to be approved as a speaker. And so I did some speaking this last year as an approved speaker now for MOPS, and there are MOPS groups that are using my book, which I'm really honored because I have, as a mother of 4 and now grandmother of 6, I am very passionate about motherhood. And so to go out and speak to MOPS groups, for me, I'm the one that is blessed by that, and I'm the one that really gains from that experience because they just are amazing. That's a great group. So they've been using my book, as well as some church groups have also. I did a Zoom call about a month ago with a group of ladies that attend one church in the Houston area, and I think we had almost 20 people on that call, and they had just finished my book, and they had a lot of great questions, and they talked about the discussion questions and how that prompted so much of a really deep discussion for them in their group. So yes, it's all kinds of different women's groups that are using it right now, neighborhood groups, lots of different groups.
Well, now with everybody being home, I imagine the neighborhood groups are on the rise. What about author groups? What about a group of female authors? You know, that might be a very valuable way to get traction and support and networking.
I think that's a great idea. I love that. We haven't done that yet, but I think that's definitely something I need to explore. So that's a great one.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, that's why we have good conversations, right? Because together, 2 women can make ideas happen.
Absolutely.
You've got this book, and you've got the workbook maybe in the works if the stars align and you do your best convincing. Do you have another book planned?
I have some ideas about some other books. I'm really into women's empowerment issues, raising strong females. I'm into a lot of women's topics since that's my area of expertise.
Right.
And so I have a lot of ideas kind of brewing in my head of some different topics that I think would work well right now for the climate that we're in today.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't actually started an outline yet or started an actual book. But last year in 2019, I was on an international book tour for pretty much all year. The book came out March of last year, and then starting in April, I was all over. I went to Mexico. I was all over the U.S. from California to Florida and every place in between. And it was all groups of women that would come, and I would do a presentation and then a book signing. And I met the most amazing women, and so many of them would come up to me and share their own personal stories about what spoke to them in the book. I had widows that would come up and say, you know, you talk about people that lose loved ones, lose a spouse, and how their girlfriends stepped in and really kind of saved them and rescued them. And that's my story. So it was all of these wonderful women that would come up. And some of them did say to me, what's the next book? Yeah. Please tell us what that's going to be. And I'm thinking, but I don't have anything to tell you for sure that this is going to be coming soon. So.
Hey, that's okay. If this is excellent as this one, it can wait. So we are at a point where we need to take another pause to hear from our sponsors. So stick around and we'll be right back.
Thank you for watching or listening to Indie Beacon Radio. Our sponsor, IndieLector.store, is the only bookstore that pays authors their fair share for book sales. Help authors to succeed and enjoy a great book by supporting them at IndieLector.store. Enjoy a 10% discount with coupon code SHOPPER20 at IndieLector.store. Coupon valid until December 31st, 2020. That's IndieLector.store, coupon code SHOPPER20.
The 5th Annual Authors Marketing Event. 2 days of live seminars in marketing for authors. The only organization that certifies authors in marketing. Live and free to the first 100 authors registered. Sponsored by Bubblish, empowering entrepreneurs, and Indie Lector Store, paying authors for their fair share. Head to www.2020.authorsmarketingguild.com today.
What started as a love letter to her son has become an international love letter for all parents to their children. Now you can read acclaimed author Shanalee Charbonneau's story to your children. When her son was very sick, she calmed him by singing her own song to him. She turned that song into the book, My Mama Loves Me, I'm Her Little Boy. She wrote 3 more magical books for all parents and kids 6 and under. Available at Indie Lector, Amazon, and all local and national outlets.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
To Indie Beacon, I am here with Deborah Olson. I'm telling you, Deborah, this has been so much fun.
Yes, it has.
I want to talk to the folks about your blog and your website. So let's start there. Where can people find out and dip into Deborah?
Sure. So I actually have two websites, and I'm going to give you both of those. The first one is GalleriaCounseling.com. That's my counseling business. My office is in the Galleria area of Houston. And so at GalleriaCounseling.com, people can get on there. They can actually make an appointment. They can reach out to me and say, I'm dealing with this issue. I need to come in and see you. And there's a place that they can reach out to me on that website. It also is comprehensive. It has all kinds of information about the book. It has all kinds of information about my background, who I treat, what I specialize in. My blogs are on there, all kinds of information. It's comprehensive. In addition to that, I have a new website that was just launched a few months ago. And that one is more speaker, author, coach specific. And that's Deborah, my name, DEBORAH Olson, OLSON.com. So if they get on there, they will again see information about the book, about speaking engagements I'm doing, past speaking engagements I just did, or there's a blog on there, awards that I've done, media events. I've done a lot of podcasts, lots of different radio shows, and they're all on there. So if they want to see a radio show that I did with a host that I've been doing a lot of work with out of Arizona. Her name is Carol Blonder. She's amazing. And they can get on there and they can listen to all the radio shows that I've done with her and the podcasts I've done with other people.
You know, that really is amazing that you are going in all of these directions, and yet they all have the central core of women and friendship and networking. So how have you been impacted with the COVID? You know, we got to stay home, we got to, shelter in place and all of that wonderfulness. How has that impacted what you're doing, or how has it made it better?
It has impacted it greatly because a lot of the speaking engagements that I had on my calendar for this year have gone away or been postponed to 2021. So that's been a disappointment for me because I love to go out and be with people. And so that's all backburnered like everybody else right now. The other thing that I've been doing, though, is trying to still reach out to women in a personal way through Zoom. Thank goodness for Zoom, right? So I've been doing Zoom calls, and about once a month, I've been trying to figure out a topic that would be helpful and relevant to help people stay resilient, help people stay encouraged, because now we're into this for 4 months. We've been doing this a while, and so now people are starting to feel the effects of it, and it's kind of a cumulative thing. And so I'm trying to think of topics for my Zoom calls that will really lift people up. And we're going to be doing another one in July, and so that will be coming. And my social media marketing person, who is awesome, her name is Sherry, and she posts on all my social media when I'm getting ready to do another Zoom call so that people have that opportunity to jump on with us. And I'm going to be also back on Carol Blonder's show, actually, the Friday after this Friday. I think that's the 10th. I'll be doing her show again, and I think this is the 5th time I've been on there. She's a host out of Phoenix, Arizona, that's on AM radio, and she does an amazing job, and she's really in tune with women's issues specifically. She loves to have people as her guest on the show that really have something to offer her female audience. So we'll be chatting again next week, and I just really love to put my message out there. I figure what I'm doing right now, especially during COVID, is very important. It's a really important time to connect with women.
Well, and really you're very positive, you've got the right attitude to be able to get people to reach out and reach back. It's not so much just reaching out and touching somebody else, it's getting them to reach back. So
Exactly.
it's really an honor. So go to both of
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website.
Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Rox Burkey. Indie Beacon Radio is produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for Authors Marketing Guild LLC, copyright 2020. Voiceover by Randy James, Lydia Bello, and B. Allen Bourgeois. To be a sponsor of the show or for more information, please email us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. To be interviewed for the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music Always Rejoice by Ramcord of